Older Australians have spent their lives working for Australia. We owe it to them in this place to ensure we have the highest quality aged care system we possibly can, that doesn't deprive them of dignity and that celebrates them in their old age, not punishes them. The numbers in the aged care system are significant. In 2020, some 335,889 Australians were using some form of aged care. The federal government last year spent some $21.2 billion on aged care. This should be a source of pride for the government, spending a large amount of money supporting many hundreds of thousands of Australians. But as the Royal Commission told us, what is currently happening in our aged care system is a source of shame. This bill is needed, and the Labor Party supports it, but as the Royal Commission made clear, there is much more that needs to be done. Much more that needs to be done when this government has had 8 years in charge of this system, 8 years where it's been under their watch, and we did see, after almost 8 years, we did see a plan put forward on budget night to spend $17.7 billion on aged care, but as is customary with this government, lacking the transparency that the public would expect about where that money goes, how it actually improves the quality of aged care. What we've seen is a $3.2 billion cheque to supplement the basic daily fee, $10 per resident, but no assurance of whether that goes to food, cleaning, healthcare, wages. We just don't know. And that's how this is. So when you hear a story like that, and that's the government's approach, money in, no reform, you kind of start to get a picture of how we've ended up with $1 trillion of government debt in this country. The Royal Commission did provide the roadmap, and it did provide findings that were horrifying. And while this bill addresses some of those problems, it is only a very small step in the right direction. The Royal Commission outlined 148 recommendations. Some straightforward and sensible, some heartbreaking that we even need to admit we need to do. It took almost 3 years to get the final report of the Royal Commission into aged care. A bit longer than expected, but it was a pretty shocking report. The Royal Commission's own words said it was a woefully inadequate system. It was a system in which Australians, quote, have their basic human rights denied. The Royal Commission said that when it comes to Australians living in aged care, their dignity is not respected, their identity is ignored. It is most certainly not a full life. And, quote, again, it is a shocking tale of neglect. Under the current system, 1 in 3 Australians using this system experience some form of substandard care. It's not a mystery what we saw in the Royal Commission. It made it very clear what caused these issues and what needed to be done to address them. Our aged care system is poorly funded, poorly governed, poorly led, and Australians are poorer for it. When it comes to the question of physical or chemical restraints, it again robs Australians of their dignity and of their autonomy. In just a few months, in 2020, the instances of restraint numbered in the tens of thousands. Stories like this, at that scale, do not belong in Australia.